So, Mr. Pawlawski, welcome in the clinic Etage, and I'm happy you stay in our clinic. And my first question is, what was the decision to come from the States to Germany for the surgery?
Well, so I played professional football, and for people that don't know my background, I played professional football for 11 years. And I had a lot of neck issues over the course of the year, 3 major hits. And I would go to doctors in the States, in the United States, and they didn't really have an answer for me. Where I had a fusion at C5-6, I had that done in 1999. And because there was damage at several levels in the States, they told me the only option was to fuse. And they wanted to fuse straight through.
All levels?
All levels.
Okay.
From the top down. And I had one surgeon who was really good, who said he could decompress one side, because I had all the neuropathy and all the burning pain in my arm. And so he decompressed that, and it was literally the best surgery I'd ever had, because immediately the nerve pain went away.
Okay.
But he didn't do the left side because he said there was too much instability. And he wouldn't clear it because he thought he would make it unstable. And so I knew there had to be an answer somewhere. I was waiting for medical technology to kind of catch up in the States. And with our FDA, it takes a while for them to approve stuff and to get through. But I kept waiting and waiting, and they said, you know, you either fuse it or nothing. Those are my options. Fuse it solid, or you get nothing. And I said that fuse it solid was not an answer for me. As a former athlete, as an outdoorsman, I couldn't live my life doing this, you know, with my body. And so I had to decide to live with the pain, you know, and it was, I went through all the different phases, from the neuropathy with the shooting pains in the arm, to the muscles finally dying because the nerve died, to the weakness, the numbness, and then from eventually into all the arthritic pain in my neck and all the muscle spasms. And about 4 years ago, I was kind of losing hope. And I saw 5 different neurologists in the States and asked them, you know, what can we do? And I asked them every question. Can we do decompression? Can we do something to clear the nerves? Can we do something for the arthritis? And every last one of them told me there was no answer. None.
Okay.
And so my only answer was to fuse it. And so I was left with that, and I said, I'm not fusing it. And I just decided I'm going to live in pain as long as I can live in pain. And I don't take pain meds. I don't like opioids.
Oh, that's great.
I don't like any of the narcotics. And so I won't take them.
But the level of your pain is between 0 and 10 then?
Oh,
before the surgery?
Before the surgery, at times it was 9+.
9+.
Like where I would literally just lay in bed and start to almost cry because it was so bad. And if I did anything active, I'd have the muscle spasms and it was just constant pain. And so I have a neighbor who's an orthopedic surgeon, who's a doctor.
Okay.
And he went missing for 5 months. Didn't see him. I talked to him almost every day. Didn't see him for like 5 months. And he got back. And the day he got back, he called me and he said, hey, we need to talk. And he had gone over and seen Professor Rischke and had a 4-level cervical cervical implant.
Implant with prosthesis.
With prostheses. And then had a 2-level lumbar. And he showed me his x-rays. He's like, you have to do this. Now this guy's a doctor in the US who traveled out of the country to get it done. And he and I used to talk about our neck pain all the time. And so I started thinking about it, and I started talking to Dr. Rischke, and then we were gonna come, and then because of travel restrictions, couldn't make it. And then finally, when everything alleviated and I could get over here, we finally made the appointment. When I talked to Dr. Rischke, part of it for me was the expense with his clinic was really high. And he said, I'm working with a really good doctor in Germany, and we can do it at Clinic Etage. And I knew nothing about it. So of course I Google and I looked it up. I said, great, let's do it.
Okay.
Price was better, you know, and I said, at this point I don't care. I just want to get this done.
Yeah, the prices are different between the States and Germany. Yeah, of course.
And so I said, and I could have them pay for that through insurance in the States, and it wouldn't cost me much. But knowing that I needed my neck, I said I gotta go to Germany and go do this, and it was absolute godsend.
And did you went in the social medias, in the groups to?
I was in the ADR group on Facebook.
Yeah.
I looked up through all that, and and I work in social media, right? I work in TV. I understand how it all works. And the problem is you have to kind of decipher who you can listen to and who you can't.
Yeah.
Because some people are on there. Some people are on there to troll and complain, and some people are on there to give real testimonials. Yeah. And some people are on there to promote doctors. You know, you get people on there promoting things, people on there complaining about things, and so I was trying to find who I could trust. I kept going back to my neighbor because he knew the process, and he did all the study. Like he gave me everything that he did.
Yeah,
for
I
study.
believe. Yeah, he's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
And so I went with him, and then I looked up the prostheses, you know, all the stuff that was going to be used. And I said, that's what I've been looking for.
But I think it's very important that you met someone or talked with someone who had experience with a procedure. And the big problem, there are not too many doctors in the world who do it very often. So this is a big problem I see when I teach the colleagues. The most colleagues try it sometimes a year, but you have to do it every week, and very often that you have the routine for surgeries like yours. It's a 4-level surgery, and then the plate in the middle we put away, and Professor Rischke had to do a lot of work there for you, and I think this is very important. We think that's not good if a doctor is going in these groups in social media. So we think at first you have to get information in the social group that you know a lot, then to talk with other people who has the same experience, and then to go to the doctors, because then you are informed and you can ask the right questions the doctor. And we see always a big problem in the States with the FDA that not every implant, which is very good, can give the patients in the States because they need all the approvals, and the experience in Europe is much more than in the States in the moment. I think this is.
We don't have these implants in the States.
Yeah, you have. I think you have prostheses in the States, but not these prostheses we use here, because the funny thing is the prostheses you have in the States we left here in Europe because this is an older generation, so we are a little bit more forward with the prostheses. And I always say to the patients, of course, this is a new method. Okay, it's 20 years old now.
20 years new.
It's not so new, but we knew too. So, but the important thing is that you need a lot of experience to see how you can handle these implants. And was it difficult to make the connections here to Professor Rischke and to the clinic then, and the traveling to here?
It was actually super easy. To get a hold of Dr. Rischke, all I did, my neighbor introduced me. So I just sent an introductory email. And Dr. Rischke was really responsive. And then as soon as he set it up through the clinic, I got a hold of Jessica, and she was really responsive. And so it was super easy. I want to get back to your point before when you were talking about the experience with it, kind of give you my point on it. So I had my knee replaced in the States, and there was a doctor there, Dr. Robert Sproul, really good doc, but young, and he told me I was his favorite quarterback when he was growing up, because he was a Cal guy, right?
Not Montana.
So the first time I met him, I said, you know, how many of these have you done? And he said, I've done 350. And I said, as soon as you've done 1,000, give me a call and we'll do it.
Okay.
And so I believe in experience. I think the more you do something, the better you get at it.
It's handwork.
It's handwork, right? And you know the pitfalls, you know the mistakes, you know everything else. And so having a doctor who's done it, you know, I'm blessed in that I got both Dr. Rischke, who's world-class, and you, who's world-class, both involved in my surgeries. And so to have that kind of team, you know, I know it's going to go as well as it can go.
How was the feeling in front of the surgeries, the hour, 2 hours before?
So I'm different case than most people. This is my 23rd surgery.
Okay. So
I played pro football. Yeah, I played pro football. And so I've had a ton of surgeries. I kind of know the routine about it. I was a little nervous. The neck is always a little nerve-wracking, but the benefit side of it is so high for me in terms of the pain I was in constantly. I couldn't hug my wife. I couldn't kiss my wife. I couldn't hug friends. I literally coach football now, and every time I turned, I had to turn my whole body to look coaching football. I couldn't look down at a sheet of paper. I mean, I just so uncomfortable. I would wake up 10, 15, 20 times every night because of the pain. And I told my wife, when you wake up in the morning going, just screaming, waking up, something's got to happen. And so the benefit to me made it far less nerve-wracking going into the surgery. I knew I had to have it.
Okay.
And so it's just, I'm doing it.
You trust in the procedure.
And I trusted in my doctors.
Okay.
I know, but obviously Dr. Risch is incredibly successful. You here in the clinic have been incredibly successful.
We tried to build a center for prosthesis that it's Dr. Risch, Dr. Shenyurt, and me and other colleagues. We are teaching in this procedure that we have really a center where we can say we have a lot of experience. And the good thing that we work together, though, we can discuss the cases, and you are a special case because 4 or 5 levels, this is not the daily work.
Right.
It's good so, because in some cases it's better you make it in small steps, that you make no over-treatment for the patient. That's very important, not to do everything. But in your case, it was totally necessary to make all the levels. And now, because you were a big case, how do you feel after the surgery?
I mean, so I said before that decompression was the best surgery I ever had because I woke up and the pain was gone. I woke up from this one and immediately I realized my neck's not in spasm. I could feel different points because my neck has now changed, but the pain from the neck, the arthritic pain, everything else was gone. And so when you wake up from a surgery feeling better than you did going in,
that's
a
good
success.
difference.
That's a success.
But now, you had some cramps in the back here in the neck?
Constant spasm
on the
in
beginning,
back. You mean after surgery?
After surgery, yeah.
Yeah, it was tight. Yeah. It was tight, but it wasn't the pain that I had before.
Okay.
I had there was muscle. It wasn't spasm. It was just like irregularity, I guess is the best way to put it. It wasn't comfortable, but it was way better.
How long was it?
Quite honestly, so probably 2 physiotherapy sessions.
Okay.
I saw him twice.
So the PT helped
the PT helped a ton. He came in, he put the electrical on, he gave the massage, and relaxed some of that muscle. And day 3, I think, after the surgery, I was like, wow, this is so much better.
How long did it take to stand up, to walk around after the surgery?
I was on the medication. Hard to remember. I think I walked the same day though.
Yeah, it's the same day.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours after surgery, I think.
So
you stood up the first time.
I was still getting through the anesthesia.
To the toilet first, and then it was funny to come back. But
but then, I mean,
you could walk.
Not long after, we were walking the halls of the hospital.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so, it's an amazing thing to go through something that major. Yeah. And to be then mobile right afterwards.
The good thing in cervical spine is that you have not so much weight on it. So I think you feel much faster, better after the surgery than in lumbar spine. You need a little bit more time.
Right.
But you would say, though, the procedure was running very well for you, and you have the feeling that it was not so much bigger than this last surgery where you had the decompression.
I mean, in terms of my experience with it, like this place has been fantastic. The people here are amazing. Yourself obviously, but Jessica, the staff here, the nurses, everybody, all the way down to the maintenance crew, have been fabulous. And so it creates this healing environment. Where some hospitals, oftentimes you just feel like another patient, just another thing. Like I felt like I had a relationship with everybody in the hospital here.
It's our goal to get a family.
Yeah.
And I think the kind of doctors is changing totally to the past. In the past, the doctor said you have to do this and this, and today we are thinking we are more coaches for the patient. So it's very important for me to talk with the patients in front of the surgery to say this can happen after the surgery, and then we have this and this solution. And then I think it's easier for the patient after the surgery. He knows, okay, I have 1-2 days a cramp in the muscles because we distract the patient. And then he knows, okay, every step we explained before, and then we can follow the patient more the way. And I think it's very important for the future too that we make controls. Like if you have a car, you control it every 2 years, that everything is fine. And I think it's the same with the implant, because it's a mechanical device. And we have to look if everything is running fine. Mostly it's not the device, the problem, more the bone and the structures. But I think it's give a little bit feeling of safety for the patient, that he knows, okay, I'm not gone from the clinic and everybody is forgetting me, that we meet again.
Well, I've been to doctors like that, where it's like, hey, all good now. Yeah. A lot of my doctors, I've developed relationships with. My doctor who does my knee, we still text back and forth every now and then. My doctor who did the original spine, I still text with every now and then. Yeah. And so it feels good as a patient to be able to have a resource where I can say, hey, this is going on. You know, it can be scary. Yeah. I mean, it can be really scary. You don't know what's going on here. Obviously, for an American to come here, if insurance doesn't cover it, it's not cheap. Yeah. And so, you know, there's a lot riding on it, being successful. Yeah. And so to have a resource like you or somebody else that I can talk to and kind of ease my anxiety, because you'll get it. To have that is priceless to me. And that's the thing here is you guys have been really good about answering every question, even with the language barrier, because I don't speak German at all. Yeah.
And my English is not the best.
Your English is way better than my German. But even with the language barrier, everybody's been really good about making sure that I understand, like I get answers to what I'm asking. And so it's just been fabulous.
I hope that an interview like this, in your experience, coming home to give other patients, perhaps we reach the goal that the insurances in America say, okay, there is a possibility. We know it from other countries like Ireland, and so they send us the patients because they know there's a fast, quick help with a high quality implant, and for a price it's similar to Ireland. Yeah. And I think if we found this way, then it's much easier for the patients too. And
had I had this option 10 years ago, think about all the money the insurance company would have saved in terms of treatment of my neck and doctor's appointments and MRIs and everything else. I mean, that has to far outcost what the surgery cost. And so if they were forward thinking enough to understand the difference in that price, they would do it right now. Yeah. That would be the smart thing.
And the crazy thing is, 10 years before, perhaps we didn't need 4-level surgery, and this would
wouldn't have. Yeah. The last 3 years is when it's gotten to its worst point.
Yeah. I always comparing it with a machine. If you see the light is going on of your machine, of the motor of the vehicle, then you stop and you let making a repair. And in spine, we are waiting, and the collateral damage is growing, and the cost
smoke's coming out, and the wires are stripping off, and the wheels are falling off. And that's what my neck felt like.
And the light goes on, off, because the battery is
it's done. And that's what it felt like with my neck. Like I was at that point, the wheels were falling off. And there were times when I'm like, I literally would ask myself, what if there's no answer? Like, I can't live like this for a long time. Okay. Not that I was, thinking horrible, but I'm like, there's this black zone of what if they can't fix this? What if it doesn't work? Then what?
A very important thing is, in the first 3 months, when the bone is growing in the surface of the prosthesis, you have to be rest, so you can walk, you can do what you want, but no sports, no working over the head, that the bone can ingrow in the prosthesis. That's very important, because we want that the prosthesis and the bone getting a unit. Right. And then you can do everything. And I hope that you then enjoy your work back as coach, and I see the next quarterback of Tampa sometimes coming from you.
Oh yeah, I've got a good one right now, but that's the point, right?
But you're not in Tampa anymore.
I'm not in Tampa anymore. No, I'm back in California now.
Okay.
But we got a bunch of great high school quarterbacks that I work with right now. And so it'll be way more fun coaching them now. Yeah. We laugh because only one coach has gotten actually hit during practice this year, and it's been me twice. Standing at drills completely away, and the offensive lineman run into me. Oh. And you just go, oh. And the neck, and my quarterback literally, he looks like he's like, can I hug you? Like, and but the difference of not feeling so fragile, not feeling constant pain, not feeling that weight of, I can't kiss my wife, I can't hug my wife. Getting rid of that, being able to live life again, is just an amazing gift.
Okay, we both love sports and American football too. We are looking here at the Super Bowl every year.
That's right.
But the problem is we have to learn something for the sports. Sport is very hard, and some accidents can happen. Yeah. But it's very important after an accident that we make the right diagnostics and treatment for the people, and earlier. Yes. Earlier. And my tip is, if someone has a big hit on the cervical spine and he felt, okay, there was something wrong, make early an MRI and repeat it in a half year or a year later, because then you see, is there any changes, and you can say it comes from there, and then we can react much earlier and much easier, because I saw your spine in the CT and it looks like how many thousand plays against
so 4,000 professional snaps as a starter, and over 1,000 in college.
Huge
so 5,000.
I can see in your spine.
Yeah, no, it shows up. There's a lot of mileage on it.
I heard you want to make a little bit sightseeing here, driving to Cologne.
Yes. And the amazing part is we can do it, right? Yeah. We had the surgery and we can still go out. We're here, so we want to at least experience Germany. My mom's from Germany, and so I've been to Mannheim, I've been to Heidelberg, been to Frankfurt, but we haven't been to Cologne. And so I want to go see Cologne.
Yeah, you will enjoy it.
Enjoy a little bit of German culture while we're here.
Okay. Yeah. Then I wish you all the best for the future. Stay healthy, and I hope we see us again then just as tourists. Yes. And to show you a little bit Germany, or perhaps we see us sometimes in California.
And we'll get you guys out for California for some real college football.
Yeah, I want to see. I saw the only college game in California.
Yeah, well, you got to watch my Bears. You come out, you'll be my guest. We'll put you up in the suite seats.
Okay.
All right.
But no defense line, yeah?
No.
Okay.
Thank you
very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I wish you all the best.